Hey, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage, and look at what we got here, a 1970 Chevelle. And it's an SS. I know you don't see the markers on the fenders, but we're bringing it home today. We're down here in an undisclosed location in Ohio. I'll give you a clue at where we're at. All right, that's your only clue on where we're at. But it was a great day for finding this car, and we're gonna restore it, and who knows what we'll do with it. You know, we do all sorts of things at Meldrum's Monster Garage, but pretty cool. Hey, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage. Welcome back to Meldrum's Monster Garage. We're actually back at my place now, and as you can see, we have purchased a 1970 SS Chevelle. Cool. And this purchase was made in Peninsula, Ohio. The car wasn't advertised. We found out through our friend Jeff Makovich. So thank you, Jeff. And Larry, Mike, and myself purchased the car, went 3 ways on it. We intend to probably fix it up and send it down the road. It's not a perfect car, but it does have a build sheet. And it's a pretty cool car. Nicely optioned SS Chevelle. Was made at the Kansas City plant, and it was made in November of 1970 according to the build sheet. We'll go over that at a later date. But before I get too wrapped up in this project, I wanted to show you a quick video of it and do a quick walk around. As you can see, it doesn't have stripes, and it came that way. No stripes on this car. They didn't order them that way. It was ordered as a white car, so it is the original color here with the cowl induction hood, and I know there's some emblems missing there. So we got, like I say, we got some cosmetic work to do. We got a little engine work to do. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the original engine or transmission, but it does have a 396 and a 4-speed. So cool, huh? Very cool. Now, the car came with a saddle interior originally, but as you can see by this bucket seat setting here, somebody changed it out to bucket seats, and the saddle interior was a bench seat, so they changed it out, and now it has bucket seats and black interior, as you can see. Cool. And kind of roll around. It's a pretty solid car. It's got its issues, but the trunk is nice and solid on this. From what I understand, it was out of Texas, and it was raced. The gentleman we bought it from had it since 1985, and really didn't do much with it. I mean, I don't know what he did with it, but as you can see, there's a battery cable left over here. We'll have to sort that out. And like I said, it had saddle interior. You can see this back panel off, and you can see the saddle molded in there. But yeah, like I say, it's a pretty cool car. The guy just was into motorcycles, not really interested in this car. So let me put my camera down for a second. We'll look at the engine real quick. All right, I started working on this already. Should have shot a video before that. But as you can see, it's got a L34 big block in it with air conditioning. I've got my start box on it right now because I don't know if you noticed, we got the steering column out of the car. It's got some issues. And the inner fender wells are out of the car right now. So we'll get this all sorted out. We'll get it started up hopefully today. Uncle Larry's going to come over, and we're going to work on the column. And first goal for this car is just get her started up, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Hope you enjoy this project. Here we go. Another 1970 Chevelle, Meldrum's Monster Garage. See ya. Yeah. There we go, Mike. Boy, that sounds good. Got a good motor. All right, there you go. We got it running already. It only took Bobby and Larry 2 seconds. Boy, it sounds good. open up the garage here, it shot out all sorts of mice stuff. Look at all the mice stuff that came out of the exhaust.
All right, we bought this car at the end of October, and of course November we were getting Mike's car ready to go to the McCacken show, so we didn't have much time to spend with the new white SS L34 car here. It's got air conditioning and whatnot, but we had a few issues with the steering column, and had to get that straightened out, so we got that back in the car now. And I actually did drive the car back and forth to Mike's house a couple of times. It's got a 4-speed in it, and it's operating okay. The only thing I noticed was when I was going around the corners, it was like the rear tires were squeaking. So now that we got it running, we'll start sorting out some other issues like the rear end, and that's what this next part of the video is going to show. And also getting the motor running smoother and getting some issues straightened out on the interior. As you can see, I spent some time getting the cowl induction logos on, the SS 396 logos on, and then there was a Chevelle logo that went on the trunk too. So we got all the logos back on the car, and also got to work on the bumper pad. Okay, here we go. I don't think we're going to do a full restoration on this car. We'll probably get it running, drivable, and whatnot, and then send her down the road. So if this is a car you're interested in, get a hold of us over at Meldrum's Monster Garage, and maybe we can do some restoration work for you on this car.
Hey, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage, and just when we thought we were done working on rear ends, if you follow Meldrum's Monster Garage, we got another one, 1970 SS Chevelle. I think we got 331 gears in here. We're going to take the cap off the back because when I go around the corners, this goes, so we got to get this straightened out. So we're going to take that off. We're going to take a look at the rear end gears and see what is ailing this 70 Chevelle here. So it's a nice old car, and it's been up and down the road a few times, but it still needs a little, let's say, love, tender care. It's been sitting outside since 1985-ish. So I've got the rear end differential gear lube to put in here from GM, and we'll put some fresh oil in there too. But let's get this cap off and see what's going on underneath it. All right, so I loosened it up, and all the bolts except the very top one, and I just loosened that a little bit so we can kind of dump the oil out here. Oh, lovely. I don't know, I think there's about a quart or so in there. We'll see. Looks pretty clear. All right, I had to spin this rear end around until I could figure out what this was. And now that I have the window here, we can see that this is a locked rear end. So both tires spin at the same time no matter what. Now, this ain't so great for driving on the street, but it's great for going down the drag strip. But it is what it is, you know. This should be a 331 rear end. I'm gonna look at, I'm gonna do a little test here and see what we have. All right, so now we're gonna see what axle ratio we have because I can't find any numbers on the gear. So we're gonna spin this around, and you can see both tires are turning. There's one. There's two. You can see the mark coming around. There's three. And if I bring the mark up just a little bit more, probably about, oh, I don't know, a third of the way around. So I'm maybe halfway, I don't know. So I'm guessing we either got like a 331 or a 355 rear end gear. So there you go. All right, we had to take the bumper off of this car because the bumper pad's not on it. And it was a real you-know-what. Of course, you got to take off the bottom panel, which are two bolts that go up into the corners here, and right into the body there. And then you got inside the trunk here, you got 2 bolts over there and 2 bolts on the other side. And then you got a bolt on the underside of the car that holds this in. Now this bolt over here came out fine. This bolt, I had to cut the head off because it was twisting around. So that'll be another issue to fix later. But now that we got this down, you see a bumper. I like to see these bumper pads still there here. We're going to take the wiring off. If you notice, it's still got one of these dew jammers down here. I don't know what you call it, to hold the light in place. I hope these lights come off without cracking all up and whatnot. I got a feeling this bumper's been off once before, but I don't know why they didn't put the bumper pad on. Guess they were saving it for me. Okay, here we go. Of course, these are just a quarter turn here, and then they pop out. So there you go. That's all there is to that. And you can see I got the car on lift, but I kind of lowered it, so I got this chair here to catch the bumper. So that's coming in kind of handy. So we got the one off here. I don't know if you can see that. Hard to do one-handed, so let me put the phone down. All right, so now I'm down in the basement of Meldrum's Monster Garage because it's going to start getting cold out there pretty quick, and I really want to do this in some warm weather. So you can see one of my 5-speed bicycle projects, one of those suicide shifters over there. How you like that? I've been working on that for a while, but anyway, I've got this laid out here. It's not setting real flat now, but the longer and warmer it'll set here, it'll get straightened out. And I've pulled, you can pull these beads out and clean them. And I've pulled this bead out to about there and cleaned it up. And then I got to go over here, get that put back in, and then we'll pull this bead out over here to halfway and clean that up. One of the things we'll be using to put this back on is some panel bond. So I've got a little panel bond left over, and like I say, this is a project. This Chevelle's a let's just put it together and move it down the road project. We're not gonna. It's a restification similar to what you'd see on Vice Grip Garage, maybe one level above Vice Grip Garage. Good to go, Craigslist. But we'll get the right nuts and bolts in here. You can see some of the wrong screws in here. And we will get the correct screws in there and get those cleaned up. And we'll get this bumper cleaned up as good as possible before we reinstall it on the 70 Chevelle. All right, there you go. Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage. We'll see ya in the next video. Oh, by the way, Dave Chevelle, he left this at my house one time about 10 years ago, and I've used it ever since. So thank you, Dave.